Hello everyone, Paper Cut here now with another replay review, this time of Night Stalker 12. There's an Ottoman player. He asked me to review his game, and he feels like he knows some things he's struggling on, but he just wants another eye just to see is there anything he's missing or to corroborate what he feels like he's struggling on already in game. He is a gold level player, and we have a team game here, and he plays both single player and team games, and so I'm going to focus more on his individual play, though of course that will be different because he's inherently in a team game. And so in a team game, the key is that you always are trying to build a comp that uses all of your singular strengths that counters what your opponent is trying to do. So in this case, looking at what we have, of course you're going to want to go English Go Lombos, you're going to want HRE to rush castle, get relics, and go Men at Arms, and you will probably want to be the cast specialist. So just lots of Sipahi, lots of knights, and siege. It's probably going to be your move. Now this is 51 minutes, so we're not going to watch the whole 51 minutes. We're going to focus a lot on like your early to mid game, as that's the thing you need to win before you really dive more into late game. Let's get going. Okay, military school open. Do not run away with those sheep. Don't run away with the sheep. So military school opening. So this is a small map. This is Cliffside. So military school opening with Spearmen will be effective. Let's see how they get set up. I would not send 2 to gold from the jump. That's going to heavily delay your feudal. You want to rally. I mean, you have 5 on wood right now, so you're going to get them the military school. And really, why are these 5 on wood? Because getting to feudal will be more important than getting another like 50 wood, in my opinion. But if you're gonna have them go for wood first, get a few on food and then go gold. Because my prediction right now is I think you're gonna hit gold for feudal before you hit food for feudal. Now you are across from the HRE player, which is great. So you can run this spearman out there. Did you kill it? Nice. You run the spearman down there. So you're not doing a spearman opening? I'm confused. So why do the stone if you're not going to build the early military school? Even if you don't feel like the spearman can do an effective harass, just building up an early stable spearman is nice to have defensively. And since you're not doing the military school opening, you've only just delayed your feudal and delayed your ability to start doing everything else you want to do. So you need to pick one or the other. This is going to be a theme for a lot of players at the gold level, is oftentimes I see players who do a little bit of both. They'll do one thing, and then flip to the other thing, and thus they do neither thing very effectively. Pick a plane and do it. So if you're going to do the military school opening, do it as efficiently as possible, get the feudal as efficiently as possible. If you want to go straight to feudal, do that. You should just start it straight on sheep. All you've done is gather a set of stone and a 50 wood for no real use. And see what I mean? You hit 200 gold way before you hit the food amount. An efficient feudal is getting the food and the gold at the same time. And especially, I'd be afraid one of you was going to get tower rush, but apparently the Mongol player is not feeling it. But look, your allies are going to get up way before you. The enemy is getting up way before you, and you've lost the chance to match that tempo with your allies. Okay. So next thing we're looking for. I'm guessing there's going to be some sort of feudal push. That's just the nature of team games, is usually some sort of feudal pressure. Now, the one state that can get away with that, not doing that, is HRE, because you can get the feudal so quickly. And since you're playing another HRE player, it makes sense that he would want to rush feudal and get as many relics as possible. So it might just be you and the English player kind of pushing early on, buying the HRE player time. So I'm curious to see which economic upgrades do you get, which military upgrades do you get, and how efficient are you getting up. So for example, if you want to do feudal pressure, you need a lot of production. You don't need 3 on gold. You have gold, and you just can't spend it. You don't need 8 on food, because you have nothing to spend food on. So a better use of macro would have been to get as many on wood as possible early on to get the buildings that you need to get up. Now, how did I know that? Even if I didn't, I played Ottoman a fair amount, but even if I didn't, the idea is you want to base your production, like you want to base where your villagers are going based on your goal. If your goal is to play in feudal, then you need to send a bunch of villagers to wood early on to get up your production, and then go to food to make units. Now, you're rallying to gold right now, so if your goal is to go castle, then I guess you're good right now. But I want to lay that out just for the possibilities. It's rare that you see multiple people go castle, which I think you're going castle. Let's get you need more on food. If you're going castle, and I assume green's going castle, what's red doing? He's going second TC. Wow. So you guys went triple greed. Triple greedy. If your opponents are aggressive, they could really punish you guys for this. Interesting. You don't often see people be this greedy on team games. Usually they're much more aggressive. Though this might just be because I know some team games just become a slugfest, but this is the tournament where people are aggressive too. But I mean, your opponents are also going to TC. And here's the thing: the HRE player went all out on Regnitz, and he's going to get a bunch of relics, and your HRE player is not. Like a key thing, if this is a person you play with a lot and he plays HRE all the time, if you ever play against an HRE player, it becomes a castle off. Who can get the castle first? And you have to go quickly because you need the relics. You cannot let the opponent HRE player get like all 5 of these middle relics. You'll just be at a huge eco disadvantage. So it looks like you want to go castle with getting up production in the back. You need way more on food. Look at this. So you have to hit. You're already halfway to castle, but you're not halfway to castle with food. And you use way more food than you do gold. So you need it there. Now you're rallying to food, but I think you're too late. You should have done 10 to food, and then rally to gold. And then rally back and forth depending on what you need. So he's going to do light harass of your free units. Get these scouts up there. So I see you guys are pre-scouting the relics, which makes sense. So you saw he's going up. He's about to go relics. You don't need two people with the same scouts at the same spot. You should have someone scouting exactly on the HRE player, so you can see which way his prelate goes. But I like this. I like that you guys are like pre-playing this. You're getting out there. You're making sure he can't take the relics, but your HRE player still hasn't even started aging up yet. Okay, now you have 2 opponents on castle. So the Japanese player rushed castle and a second TC? Wild. Now you have 2 opponents who want to get relics, and your HRE player is still not up. Okay, so let's, once again, the macro here is key. You're aging up with 600 gold in the bank. Now, it's important that when you're aging up, you have 7 on gold, so you can have the gold when you age up to get upgrades. But the bigger issue to me is that you weren't efficient at getting the castle. You castle rushed, but it wasn't really a rush because you didn't split your units correctly. And so on the future, you want to make sure get more on food to start and then go to gold. And you should be rallying to gold as you go to castle and then into castle. Because 600 gold right now is just way too much. If I was you, I'd pull a few off gold and put them on food. Second thing you did, you're going up with your food villagers, which is just not a good idea. Why is that? Well, you won't be able to make villagers, and you won't be able to enter castle making units, which, I mean, you don't have production, but still, it's not a good look. Generally, you want to go up with a mixture of wood and food villagers. Because if you go with gold villagers, you can't get upgrades, so why are you in castle? So you want to go a mixture of, like, do half wood, half food, and go that way. But just pulling all your food villagers is not the way to do it. Because now you just don't have food. And you're not even making villagers right now. So he predicted this. They probably scouted this. Now the good news is that since you forced him to make units, he has to do 1 relic at a time. Try to snipe it. All right. Does he already have a relic? So he has 2. He's getting his 3rd. And your HRE player just went... So, like, once again, your HRE player didn't commit to 1. He didn't commit to going second TC. He didn't commit to going castle. He did both, which made both slow. It would have been much better if he hard committed to getting the TC up as fast as possible and then went as fast as castle as possible. And he might be able to get 2. This one and this one for sure. But we'll see if he can get 3. All I know is that the opponents are getting way more relics than you, which is dangerous. If you hit castle, once again, your castle timing also comes from your feudal timing. Since you're late to feudal, you're late to castle. Where if you got castle 2 minutes ago and were able to get out knights, this would be way more effective at stopping him from getting the relics. Nice pick off. Good stuff, good stuff, good teamwork. You start getting on some real production. It is all well and good, but you can't actually spend resources right now unless you're rushing Imp. Oh. Nice. Oh, wow. So he just rushed Imp, which he can't do because he has 2 relics. And just went all in on food. Wow, he doesn't even have a single farm to his name. So this is an Imp that isn't going to be necessarily effective because he has no resources. And really, he should have gone Swabia. Him going Elsback is kind of lame for an HRE player. He really should have gone Swabia because he needs the villagers. But I'm not talking about him. I want to focus on you. So, you're kind of rating Sipahi. Is your... I'm still not quite sure what your guys' goal is. Is your goal to fight Castle? Are you guys gonna rush Imp as well? And so here's the thing, in a team game, you don't respond to this, right? You need your English player just to make a lot of ranged, and you go Siege and Sipahi. So here's the thing, you're faster than him, so if you can just get more Sipahi, you'll be fine. Do not try to rush this wall up. No. There you go, you'll be fine. But you need way more Sipahi. And now you're going second TC, okay? Here's the thing. Okay, you're just now getting Iron Undermesh because you desperately need Iron Undermesh. But where's your... What's this keep do? You want to use keep to secure resources and space. What is he secured? If the keep was here, he secures these 2 golds. If the keep was here, he secures this gold and this stone. But putting it here, he secures just this stone and this crossing. But, like, what's this crossing do you? Because he could cross at any other spot. Because now you guys are trying to wall it because you're scared of the Imp. But think about this. If you guys have just been aggressive from the start, you stop this. Like, he doesn't get to age up. He doesn't get to 2TC. If you guys are just aggressive, which your civs lend to being aggressive, you as an Ottoman player can have an amazing feudal. Your English player can really get longbows. And even your HRE player could just double TC and just mass feudal men at arms. So, like, you guys let him get to this position, and now your eco's cut out. Since your Sipahi can't catch this, a good move for you right here would just be to drop a tower. Just drop a tower right here. You have resources, you're fine. But you, man, you need that 76. You're not making any villagers. You're on 31 villagers. Your buddy's on 71. He's on 48. 33. Yeah, you're really behind. Now, luckily, since you're Ottomans, it's not as bad, but... Does he have an Imp upgrade? So, here's the thing. Old Yellow rushed Imp, but has early men-at-arms and feudal spearmen, so you should be fine. But here's the problem. You guys aren't defending together. So they're attacking together right now. You need your buddies to send units over, and if you push this back, you just walk back on Yellow. Like, you need help. You need help. Are they coming? Do they even have units? You have 5. 17, 31. Where's his units? Right here. Yeah, they're fine. He has a white tower here. He's raiding this guy. Everyone needs to go over and help you right now because you just went Imperial and all. If you can just live and get elite upgrades, you're good. You gotta make villagers. So one thing I suggest, if you're watching my videos, you've heard me talk about this, is the macro cycle. So you need to regularly check, am I making villagers? Am I making units? Oh, no. So here's something to know. If you're going to drop Imp and your opponent's nearby, you have to put it next to your base. Even then... Oh, man, that sucks. Yeah. Yep. And now your buddy's here. You just needed to wait. You just needed to wait till your buddy showed up. Now you're fine. They lost all those imp resources. Oh, you needed to cancel that immediately. That's rough. You still don't really have any upgrades. Okay, now, okay, so he's doing kind of a castle creep. I don't feel a cohesive strategy. Like, I don't know what you and your teammates are trying to do. It is, and this is why it's hard to do team games, right? Because, I would have the strategy for you individually, but I don't want to say anything. I mean, I suggested a feudal strategy earlier, but it is what it is. You move around villagers a lot, and then now you're stonewalling. Here's the thing. You don't need to stonewall if you guys just attack together. Like, if you force the issue right here, your opponents will just come and fight here, and then you're safe. And look what your opponents run. They're running Meta Arms, Magudai. I don't know what Pink has. Pink's doing his own little adventure here. Oh, wow. So here's your choice. You guys could all just push Pink. Like, you guys need to get together and fight together, is the problem. Red is doing a good job here. But Red just needs a bunch of longbows and crossbows. And honestly, if I was you, I think at this point I switch to Elite Men-at-Arms. Because Green has to defend himself over here. And he went Knights. Why'd Green go Knights? Okay, now he's switching over. I don't know, you need so many more units, and your military schools are not cutting it. Like, you need to drop just 4 stables or more and just start producing Sipahi, because think about what he did to you. They walked in and they raided you and they slowed you down. If you had a bunch of Sipahi, you could run all the way through the opponent's backline here and just wreak havoc. Run over the Mongol player, run over the Japanese player, and your Sipahi are great raiding units, but you're not using them because you went this fast imp, and now we're kind of like slow and stuck here. See, look at the power of this raid here. Like, they have no walls. How do you get through? Gotta. That's why Cliffside is so hard to wall. There's so many openings, but you gotta. Because here's the thing, the Magadai aren't good. They're not gonna kill you, but they slow you down so much. Nice. Good. Naganos for the win. Okay, Janissaries and Knights. I really don't think you need to make Janissaries. I think your English buddy needs to go Imp and just do longbows and crossbows. Hey, your guy's getting destroyed. Like, you guys need to turn and just go back onto green. Or maybe your calculus is, well, he's losing, we gotta beat him, but it's like, oh, you did, you beat HRE. Why'd the HRE player quit? That's really dumb. So HRE player quits and then Pink blinks your HRE player? Is that the deal? So here's the thing, the transfer you need to make is, if your HRE player is dead, you have to become the front line. So that means you need to make elite men-at-arms be the front line for your ally, because Japan is all infantry. You're still on 37 villagers, my guy, you gotta make. So here's the thing, since you're not making units, and you're not making villagers, and you're not making production, you're literally just living off your free units, which is so slow. The power of the Ottomans comes from the fact that you're making units and getting free units. That's such a huge eco boost, but you're wasting that because you're not making villagers. So the thing you need to work on the most is that macro cycle, where anytime you're not doing something specific, like you're microing a close fight, you go home, and I put my TC on the side of my mouse, and you're checking, am I making villagers? Cool. Am I making units? And I put all of my production on the same key. So I can go 3 and make my units. And you're good. And I rally the units to where I want them to go. And then I look at my resources. And I look at your resources. I go, I have a lot of food and a lot of wood. And I need to spend them. So I need more production because I have so much extra resources. I need more production. I need to make units. And then I realize I don't have any gold. And I need to rally more to gold because I'm an imp and I really, really need gold. And then you decide, what are we doing? Does this make sense, or do we need to change our strategy? And that feels really slow, but I'd rather you make a better decision slowly than a multiple wrong decisions quickly. Because right now it just felt like it really felt like you got stuck into autopilot mode and are now making some questionable decisions. Like, you're not making villagers. You're not really making units. You're out of gold. You stacked up a bunch of resources. Like, all this comes from overreacting and never pausing and going, what do I need to do now? And doing that. You're secure. You got up walls. You've destroyed one of your opponents. And now you're pushing through. But you guys really just need to come back and gather yourselves. Save Green, because he's not dead. Just get back on even footing. But like a lot of where your issues come from, to me, a feeling of you're overreacting. Like, let's watch your camera view here. Watching your camera view. Why do you need to watch this? What are you getting from this? And now you go back and check your TC, but you never actually... And now you finally make villagers. But you just watched a whole fight where no micro's happening. And now you're microing. And now you're microing. And at this point you go, okay. Like, he's got you. Honestly. You can micro your Janissaries back, but they're coming for you. Stand and fight and go back and fix your eco. Because what's going to lose you a game is when you focus too much on the micro but not on the eco, and then when you first start to lose and you go back and you try to make units, the weakest part about your build is that if you lose your initial units from these military schools and you lose them in a fight, you can't just remake them. You just can't remake them. You have to wait for them to produce again, and you're not making units out of your own production because you don't have the villagers to make. Like, you want to make Janissaries, they're 100 a pop. You don't have the gold for that right now. And now you're trying to get the gold for it, but like, you just need more production and you need more frontline. Because now both you and English are kind of doing both things halfway. But here's the thing, Japan is somehow fighting both, like, all of you guys at the same time, and really just comes down to, you guys didn't get a comp that counters him. Like, he's just running Elite Samurai. You guys need Janissaries work, but crossbows, lots of crossbows, which the English player should be able to do. Or hand cannoneers, for the English would be great as well. And you need to provide the front line. And that comes from you realizing, what's Japan running? All Elite Samurai. Okay, I'm going to make Elite Man-at-Arms. You get crossbows, and we'll meet up here and like, fight it out. But you have to make that plan. You guys never pause. You won't ever do that. No, I'm going to keep watching your I'm going to keep watching your... See, what are you microing here? You don't need to watch this. No, you need to go back home and make villagers because you stopped making villagers. Like, you're watching too much. This isn't getting you anything. And you also keep running into him. Like, you don't have enough units. You need to... So, when you start to lose tempo like that, where it's obvious that you're not pushing anymore, you're not being pushed back, cut all production and put everything near your base and get a mass again. Because you need to regain that tempo. And as you see, you're not watching anything. Okay, now you're fixing your eco, which is good. Get villagers, get villagers. And it also comes down to order of importance. Like, you don't, like, what do you value as the most important thing to get done? You're setting up a bunch of stuff that isn't useful when the most important thing... Right now, according to your camera, you're valuing moving your Janissaries forward. And this isn't enough Janissaries to do anything. So, really, what the problem is, it's judgment. Your biggest thing you fix is judgment and what's important. You're right now watching your Janissaries cross the field and get killed by this TC instead of just making villagers again your eco right. I really have nothing else to watch. because I mean we could watch you go back and forth, but you're going to lose because you never focus on the most important things. So to summarize, the 3 things that I think, 2 to 3 things you need to do. So you mentioned you're bad at making villagers continuously. You're bad at managing your economy. That's because you don't value it. So the biggest thing you need to change is your judgment and what you view as valuable. What you should view as more valuable than microing and watching your units fight is fixing your macro and your eco at home. And doing that macro cycle. I'm always making villagers. I'm always making units. Second, you need to actually match your military schools with production. So make sure you're getting down multiple buildings of production so you're not relying just on your military schools. The military schools are pushing you over the edge of victory because they're providing you extra units. And lastly, and this is just for team games, like work on a coherent strategy. After the initial rug and your opponent winning period, you guys seem to just lose a strategy, and you kind of sacrificed your HRE player, and instead of fighting. And so I would suggest either a hard aggressive feudal strategy or a strategy to get HRE the relics as fast as possible, and then you guys kind of fight out on castle. I hope that was helpful to you and anyone else watching. If you would like coaching, I do individual coaching and group coaching. Just message me on my Discord, which is in the description at the bottom of the video. If you want your own replay review, feel free to message me on Discord as well. And good luck on your games.